Set in the stunning landscape of rural Montana, Yellowstone is a beautiful show to watch. There are incredible scenes of the wild and how ranchers have to live and work with nature instead of fighting against it. The incredible shots and stunning views help to make it feel that Montana becomes one of the characters of the show, instead of just being the backdrop of the Dutton family drama. But in the world we live in, we know that things aren't always what you see. Those stunning mountains on screen could end up being a piece of cardboard that was then tweaked on a computer to appear majestic. So let's find out how much of Yellowstone is real. This is Yellowstone without CGI, what it really looks like. But be warned, mild spoilers ahead. Before we get started, please remember to give us a like for this video, then subscribe to the channel, and lastly, turn on notifications. They'll keep you up to date and ensure that you never miss a thing. Firstly, what is Yellowstone all about? It's the story of the Dutton family. They're the owners of the largest ranch in the United States. And while this sounds like a pretty peaceful lifestyle, it doesn't take long for the viewer to realize that it's anything but peaceful. The family is fighting hard to keep their land. There's always someone or something that's trying to take a chunk of it, and with a ranch of that size, there's a lot to protect. While keeping the land developers at bay, other problems with neighbors also arise. For example, issues with the native reserve that the Dutton family keeps clashing with. And when you're fighting with those that border your land, there are always those closest to you that can create drama. It's a show about a family, and while we do see glimpses of just how much they care about each other, they're also very dysfunctional. There hasn't been a truly great Western in a long time, and this one has filled that void. The drama is intense, and the action is bloody. It's a show that appeals to a lot of viewers. The cast is incredible. While Kevin Costner is a definite standout by being the Hollywood legend that he is, his supporting cast is really great too. This is a star-studded cast, but it is the storylines that have really made it a ratings powerhouse, with viewers' numbership rising steadily with each new season. And the fact that the landscape is so pretty makes it even more appealing. So how much of Yellowstone is actually real? Like I said, we live in a world where computer-generated imagery is used in almost every show we watch. What makes it even more special is that Yellowstone is almost entirely shot in the landscape that we see on screen. It'd probably be much easier to just shoot everything in a studio and create the mountains on a computer. But that is a show that sets a lot of emphasis on things being real. Yes, there are one or two things that are shot inside sound stages, but overall, what you see are real places. Let's first look at the interior shots and where they're filmed. We'll see just how real the exterior of the Dutton Ranch is, but that isn't entirely true of the inside of the house, at least for seasons 1 to 3. They created the house by shipping logs from Montana to create layers of authenticity, but the filming of the interior scenes was filmed in various locations in Utah. While some were sound stages, a lot of them were real places that had stunning interiors and could create that look that they were going for. At that time, Utah had a lot of rebates that meant filming there was saving the production a lot of money. Money they could then spend on other aspects of the show. So it made sense to shoot in Utah. Then state budgets changed, and these incentives came to an end. At the same time, Montana added a production rebate that meant that Yellowstone would save more money by just staying in one location and doing all of their filming there. So for season 4, the entire production was set in one location, the Montana ranch that is used for exterior shots. What about the exterior? With the exterior shots, pretty much everything is real and authentic. This show goes to great lengths to feature the rural Montana landscapes and to create incredibly beautiful shots. They want you to feel like you're in the wild. To have a better understanding of how the Dutton family lives and of the challenges they face, we need to understand their world. And their entire world basically revolves around Montana. So cutting corners and adding loads of CGI was never going to be an option for the production team of Yellowstone. They wanted the experience to be authentic, even at times when it would have been probably safer and easier for them just to use CGI. Like when Kelly Riley had to run at some wolves. This one just blows my mind. She had to run at a pack of wolves that were feeding. Yes, these were wolves that were as tame as wolves could be, and there were experienced handlers on set. But it still sounds to me like it could be incredibly dangerous and super scary. Kelly Riley plays Beth Dutton, and in the scene, Beth goes on a date, and then she sees a pack of wolves having dinner close to where her date parked. She decides that instead of moving away slowly like most of us would do, she would just prove just how wild she is. She charges the animals, screaming and shouting. This sounds like a pretty great scene for a TV show, but again, these were real wolves that were eating. And this lady was storming them while making a lot of noise. The poor wolves probably didn't know what was going on, but while it sounds funny, I imagine it could still be pretty dangerous. and she had to do it herself. There were no stunt doubles to stand in and take the chance. And if that isn't bad enough, she had to do it a few times to get the shot just right. While I think it must have freaked her out quite a bit, she still did it and everything turned out fine in the end. This is what I'd call dedication. How about the time a bull decided to charge and break one of the cameras? Another scene where I would expect CGI to be used was one where a number of different characters were playing a game called Cowboy Poker. Instead of just playing cards, they had to sit in a pen with an angry bull running around them. The one that stayed seated the longest was the victor. Now, let me tell you, I would definitely be the first one to lose that game. And the actors soon found out that it might not have been the best of ideas to use a real bull for this shot. The bull decided he had had enough and started to charge. Some of the actors were still inside the corral while some of the others had been replaced with stunt people. It was a stunt woman that received the worst of it. When asked if she was okay, she replied that she looked in the cowgirl handbook to check if she was allowed to cry, but the answer was no. I must say I would probably be crying like a baby. And besides this badass cowgirl, there was also a camera that was destroyed in this incident, so the danger is very real. Then what about the time that there was a bear loose on set? It's very true that bears are a danger in the American West. So when newspapers reported that there was a wild bear that wandered onto set and was removed by handlers, it was completely believable and incredibly scary. But it wasn't really as bad as they made it out to be. Yes, it was a bear, and that in itself is unbelievably scary, but at least it was another animal actor that was on set with their handler. Call me what you want, but for me, it wouldn't matter at all that much if the bear is trained or not. This is still a 500-pound animal, and there's absolutely no way that I would want to come face to face with one. But while most shows would just use CGI to do these stunts, Yellowstone is so committed to realism that they use real live animals for these scenes. So what about the show isn't real? Many people have wondered if Yellowstone is based on a true story, and while the storylines are very realistic, this is one part of the show that is not real at all. It's a complete work of fiction. And what about those animal cruelty claims? PETA released a statement against Yellowstone, claiming that they used real bovine corpses for certain scenes, and that they mutilated these cows too. There was even a whistleblower that came forward to make these claims. Yet production and the network have continuously refuted these claims. They've used props for these scenes and have completely refuted claims that they had the cattle killed just to use them on scene. They say that while they focus on making everything look real, these animals were not real at all, and no proof was ever brought forward to back these claims. And that was also the only animal cruelty claim that has ever been brought against the show, so hopefully those stories weren't true. When can we expect a new season? It'll take around a year from the last season for Yellowstone Season 4 to be released. It's already been filmed, so they're now busy placing the finishing touches to the season. That means that we'll probably get the next season around the middle of 2021. At least we won't have to wait too long now. We also know that we're going to be getting a spin-off and a prequel that tells the story of the Dutton family and how they came to Montana. So we'll be getting a lot more of the Dutton family and a lot more stories from the West. So if you're a fan of the show, don't you worry. There's going to be enough to keep Yellowstone fans entertained. I just hope both of these spin-offs are as good as the original. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time.